Have you ever heard of the CFA franc? It's a currency used by millions of people in Africa. But what many don't know is its deep, and some say controversial, connection to France. Today, we're diving deep into the story of the CFA franc, exploring its past, its present, and what the future might hold. This is a story about money, power, and the quest for economic independence. So, what exactly is the CFA franc? The name originally stood for Colonies Françaises d'Afrique, or French colonies of Africa. After independence, the meaning was updated. Now, there are actually two CFA francs. The West African CFA franc, used by 8 countries, stands for Communauté Financière Africaine, African Financial Community. The Central African CFA franc, used by 6 countries, stands for Coopération Financière en Afrique Centrale, Financial Cooperation in Central Africa, Africa. In total, 14 mostly West African nations use one of these two currencies. Benin, Burkina Faso, Guinea-Bissau, Ivory Coast, Mali, Niger, Senegal, and Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Republic of the Congo, Equatorial Guinea, and Gabon in Central Africa. That's a huge economic zone, with a combined population of nearly 200 million people, all using a currency with its roots in Paris. Here's where it gets interesting. The CFA franc is pegged to the euro. Before that, it was pegged to the French franc. This fixed exchange rate provides stability, which can be great for controlling inflation and encouraging trade. However, there's a significant condition attached. As part of the agreement, these African nations were historically required to deposit 50% of their foreign currency reserves into a special account at the French Treasury. Think about that for a moment. Half of the wealth generated by these 14 countries is held in France. This requirement has been a major point of contention and debate for decades. This brings us to the interest rates. When these African countries needed to borrow money, even their own money held in reserve, they would have to do so at commercial interest rates. Critics argue this creates a system where nations are essentially paying to access their own funds. Proponents of the system say the stability offered by the French guarantee outweighs these costs, making it easier for these countries to get loans on the international market at more favorable rates than they might otherwise. But the question remains, is this a fair financial partnership? The system has faced serious accusations. Some critics label it a form of modern economic colonialism, arguing that it gives France undue influence over the monetary policies of sovereign African nations. They suggest it stifles independent economic development and benefits French companies operating in the region. The term money laundering has even been used in heated debates. For West African Franco countries, although that's a very strong and legally specific term, the core of the criticism is that the arrangement funnels wealth from Africa to France in a way that is structurally imbalanced, even if it operates within a legal framework established long ago. So, is it illegal? No. The CFA franc system is based on formal agreements and treaties signed between France and the member African states. It's all perfectly legal on paper. The real debate isn't about legality, but about fairness, sovereignty, and whether the system truly serves the best interests of the African people in the 21st century. Many economists and political leaders argue that a system created in the 1940s colonial era is no longer suitable for today's dynamic and growing African economies. This leads us to the crucial question: what is the best solution for the future? This is where the story gets a hopeful turn. Change is already happening. In 2020, leaders of the 8 West African member states announced a major reform. They decided to officially rename their currency the ECO, and most importantly, to end the requirement of depositing 50% of their reserves with the French Treasury. France also agreed to withdraw its representatives from the governance bodies of the West African Central Bank. This is a massive step towards greater monetary sovereignty. However, the journey isn't over. The ECO is still planned to be pegged to the euro, meaning a degree of French and European influence remains through the currency guarantee. The 6 Central African nations have not yet adopted similar reforms, so the old system largely continues for them. The ultimate goal for many is a completely independent African currency, managed by Africans for Africans. This could involve a floating exchange rate or a currency pegged to a basket of currencies, not just the euro. Creating and managing such a currency for a diverse group of nations presents its own huge challenges, requiring immense political will and economic coordination. The debate over the CFA franc is complex, with passionate arguments on all sides. As Africans, it touches on history, economics, and national pride. The situation is the same. What's clear is that African nations are increasingly taking control of their own economic destinies. The transition to the eco in West Africa, though not a complete break, is a powerful symbol of this new era. The future of money in this vibrant part of the world is being rewritten, and it's a story we should all be watching. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. What are your thoughts on the CFA franc and the move to the eco? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video informative, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that explores the world around us. See you in the next one.